here's a question that came in that's along similar lines. It's from an HVAC company. So I own an HVAC company, and we've completed about 180 jobs this year, mostly replacements and repairs. My customers seem genuinely happy. We get great reviews, but I've only gotten 7 referrals from those 180 jobs. That's like less than 4% referral rate. I would love to get 15 to 20% referral rate because our lead cost through Google Ads is killing us at $110 to $135 per lead. The constraint is I don't have time to manually nurture every past client. Do you have any suggestions on how to systemize the referral generation, or is there a better way of doing this?
Yes. Oh, you want me to elaborate? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, and yes.
And the reason why I kid about this is this exact scenario, not asking about the referral business, but dealing with HVAC businesses, because we're in the credit card processing business, and a lot of HVAC companies take credit cards. And one of the first thing I would do, I always like to say, like, let's say I own his deal, right? The first thing I would do is I would get every one of my customers on some sort of annual maintenance program where I'm charging them an annual cost. I come by, I have a technician come by, work on their stuff. That's how I'm increasing customer engagement, right? So now I have customer engagement. I'm going by, I'm throwing in a new air filter. I'm, just checking the refrigerant in your AC unit, whatever it is. Set up some sort of annual winterization, something. Okay, now that's interaction. When people are enrolled in that program, it gives me license to drip market on them now. Now I'm drip marketing on them. So I have more customer interaction. And inside of my drip marketing, what I might do is go, hey, any referral you send my way, you get your annual maintenance program for free for a year. You got to be creative. You're right. You can't be on the phone. You can't. It's hard to nurture those. But get them enrolled in something, have enough benefit that they'll want to enroll in this. And then now you have license to be in constant contact with them, constant interaction. And constant, I mean, I'm in their home once a year at least. I'm emailing them once a month regarding different things that come up and that they need. Look out because air quality is bad, so we need to change our filters more. I mean, there's just a million things you can go about this with.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Viruses,
Yeah, viruses, whatever. And then train your technicians. When your technicians are out there and they're collecting either payment or they're meeting with the homeowner, hand them a form, hey, just need you to sign off on this that I did your annual maintenance, and go, hey, right here, do you know anyone else that would appreciate, the kind of maintenance you're getting here? And bonus your people. Hey, if you get a guy in the annual membership or get a new customer, I mean, this deal could... Because what happens, I think, is we get too busy working in it instead of on it. And if this guy's the guy that's running, he's not alone, and I know he's not alone, did 180 jobs. And I guess most guys by themselves can't do that over over a year period. So, get engagement.
Yeah, those are big jobs to have yourself do in 2 days.
Right.
Right. Like that's 20 all year round, every other day you're doing one. It's probably you're probably not doing that yourself.
No. So that deal's and when you get them on the membership program and you do your annual billing, wow, all of a sudden out of 180 clients, I have 100 clients on here paying $39.95 for an annual checkup. Okay, run those numbers. What does that look like on the bottom line? Boy, that number will allow me to maybe hire someone to do something so I can interact with the client in my marketing, or I can hire someone to make sure that this market goes out consistently because I've increased my revenue so much. And plus too, those will bring those customers keep coming back when there are issues. My AC went down. Okay, there's an $8,000 proposition. That's a big job, and those are the job those guys like. At least the ones that I've dealt with do.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, in that maintenance agreement, not only do you make a lot more money, and I think I have maintenance agreements on a couple places, and I think it's like, I don't know, it's like $120 a year or something like that. And so supposedly, when I have a question, when I have a need, it puts me at the top of the list with all the other people with, supposedly. But also the it does. Well, like you said, oh, come out once a year and air filters and whatnot. And that gives them an opportunity to go, oh, you know what, your coil's getting bad. We should probably, it's like, oh,
Right.
I didn't know that. Well, yeah, you want to get that done before summertime comes. You don't want it to go
Hmm.
bad. What happens then? It's like, oh my God, I better get that done. Well, so now they it's a lot more work. And, we started talking about getting referrals. I think like paid advertising, I call it hope
Right.
advertising. He just talked about it's really expensive. I have never, I have never made money paying for advertising. Absolutely ever, not once in my life. And that's I tested a lot of things. And so in this deal, you probably wouldn't, and granted, people search, but if you do this, if you're creating your own business with these support agreements,
You don't have to
you probably don't
advertise.
need any more business, unless you
Right.
really want to expand your market. And then I'd get people on maintenance agreements to stop advertising, and your
Hmm.
income's going to go through the roof.
Hmm.
Now, if you want more business, then getting referrals. I don't know. I think I would go to I'd connect with maybe somebody like Chuck,
Hmm.
I'd
And I've
go, well,
had those calls.
people get, Chuck has a bunch of long-term rentals. And so how would I get him, and make it easy for him to do this? Because I found too, having maintenance agreements on all of my stuff, I couldn't I couldn't take that many phone calls about, hey, let's schedule your maintenance. I go, what address? What are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
And I started dropping them. So I go, look, you really have to figure out how to make it easy for people like me that have a bunch of this stuff that I'm going to go broke just meeting you at wherever you're supposed
Hmm.
to meet between 1 and 5. I can't take
Right.
that much time. But if you can. So this is referrals, right? So how could I get Chuck? How could I get a John or a Chuck and take care of all their stuff and get however many you have, how many I have? It's like, holy cow, you can keep one person busy, it seems, just with that kind of stuff.
Realtors are
Um,
great.
but
Realtors that
realtors, yeah, call
realtors
call realtors,
commercial
call
commercial realtors.
yeah,
Sorry, commercials that deal.
property management companies.
Right.
There's who has the same people, who's dealing with the same people you're
Hmm.
dealing with. They're open the if there's yellow pages anymore, just it's like flip through. If you could grab a book of yellow pages, just flip through. It's a great memory jogger. You go, oh, let me test this, let me test that. And then, like you said, drip on them every month. Hey, here's a situation we found. Look at this weird, a mouse giving birth on top of an old AC unit. Do you have any mice in your? I don't know,
Something.
something not salesy, just
Hmm.
something so they don't unsubscribe. And then and if you have them on a maintenance agreement, like you said, it gives license for you to contact them, and you're in their home
Hmm.
every year. And so you schmooze, you go, oh, blah, whatever the blah 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 is. Oh, I love your deer head. Where'd you get that?
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully it's a good story. It's like, oh, my husband was gored to death by that. I
Hopefully
don't
not.
know. You never know. You run the risk.
But
That's
that
a
deal,
turn right under it.
if you do in an HVAC deal, if you're good at what you do service wise, and you implement a little of this marketing in there, you can get as big as you ever want to handle. And when I say marketing, I'm saying implement these things that we talked about. Call on realtors, call on commercial, property management companies, and just, hey, here's who I am. Send a little something over. Here it is. You would you couldn't hire enough technicians. You'd be like, God, dude, I don't
No.
have time. I don't have time. I'll have to put you out. And I called a place the other day to get something worked on. They're like, yeah, of my mower, right? I've, one of those zero turn mowers. And the guy's like, yeah, we're like 8 weeks out. You can drop it by. And I go, can't you just tell me when I can bring it in? He goes, nope, you got to drop it by and leave it here. And I'm going, well, how do I mow in
For
the
eight
meantime?
weeks.
Yeah. I'm like, we're in Minnesota in the summer, dude. It's like, how
Well,
do I mow?
everywhere grass, unless where's it snowing right now? Unless you're in
True.
Greenland, you
Right.
need your
I just like,
mower.
well,
You know,
but I was like, okay. And then what was funny about that is I heard of them from a referral. And then once I heard of them and they were on my radar, I like I see reminders all over of people who deal with them. And I'm like, well, no wonder they're 8 weeks out. No wonder they have. So, it's like, well, okay, so it does work, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and then you start noticing it more. And then you start noticing the
Yeah.
trucks running around. And then it's a
Right.
reminder.
Yeah.
And then you go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Then you
hey,
want
my
them
buddy
more.
needs it. Yeah, right. Right? Anyway.